Stepped on the scene, dripped in saline. Whole crew shining, call me Mr. Clean. Came in from the back, walked right to the front. Dancing to the music, smoking on the. Got the women smiling, punk grilling me. Looking all dusty, black force energy. I don't even drink, but the team pop bottles. Not here for the beef, but the Glock holds hollows. Think I'm cocky, but I think I'm worse. In this flexing like a Mr. Universe.
The last topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is our top 5 most entertaining boxers in the game today. I'm going to turn it over to Ned, the TBE, man. Start at 5.
Start at 5?
Work your way down. 5, tell us why the person's at 5.
All right.
And then we'll work our way to number 1.
And entertaining for me, sometimes that personality capture a star, like that personality make a star before. And skills, they don't have to be that talented of a boxer. So at 5, I got Derek Ward Chisora. So he's hilarious.
Ward Chisora for TBE.
His personality brings a lot to the sport, man. He does so much. He's entertaining, and you could always have a good time when you're watching the press conference, the build up to the fight. Everything Derek Chisora makes it happen.
Unfortunately, Trill Dollar Bill was having some technical issues, and he went off screen before he could actually give me his list. But Conspiracy G gave me his list before he left the screen. So number 5 for Conspiracy G is Teofimo Lopez. That's who G has at number 5. At number 5 for me is the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. I like watching Deontay Wilder fights because at some point he always seems to land the right hand that hurts someone or knocks them out. And it's always fascinating to me because Deontay Wilder isn't the most technically sound fighter, but he's explosive and he does hurt people with his right hand. And so it's always, is he going to be able to land that right hand again? And, surprisingly, the answer has been yes most of the time. So we were there at the Robert Helenius fight, and we got to witness it, like, up close and live. And it was an exciting knockout. Like, the fight didn't last long, but when I tell you, and Ned, you were there, after the knockout, there probably was like 8 to 10 minutes of dancing, listening to music, and just pure joy and, like, elation in the crowd. And everyone just having a good time. So, you didn't get a whole fight, but that experience was all worth it. So at number 5 for me, I got Deontay Wilder. So number 4, Ned, who you got?
Number 4. Yeah. I got Adrian Broner. I ain't gonna lie. Recently, he was, I don't know, he gets built up to this fight. He's sitting there arguing, Leonard Edelby. These guys used to be cool. Now he's sitting there, man, you up. And I'm like, damn, I like Adrian Broner brings like that raunchy hood style to the game, and it's like always entertaining.
Definitely brings the press conferences.
Yeah,
like the press conferences and
he's always
post-fight interviews.
Yeah, his post-fight interviews, all of that. Adrian Broner is hilarious, man.
Gang.
Take
the L out of lover. It's over, brother.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, so for G at number 4, he has Arthur Beterbiev. At number 4. For me at number 4, I have Terence Bud Crawford. Now, again, this isn't a pound for pound list. This is the most exciting fighters. Like, who are the most exciting fighters that you look forward to seeing? And for me, Terence Bud Crawford is one of those guys because he combines skill with knockouts. Typically, skilled guys, they don't appeal to the casual fan. So, for example, you have like a Devin the Dream Haney, you have a Vasily Lomachenko, but the guy in their division is the one who gets the knockouts. And so for me, it's like skill is for the boxing purists, but knockouts tend to excite the crowd and get people out of their seats. And Terence Bud Crawford does a fine combination of both. He's a very skilled boxer, but since he's been at welterweight, he's knocked out all of his opponents. And so welterweight Bud is definitely one of the most exciting fighters in the game today. All right, who you got at number 3, Ned the TBE?
I criticize him in his antics, but his antics are hilarious. Tyson Fury. We already know he's the Twitter fingers. He'll get on the camera. He'll talk all the mess, but he still delivers when it comes to getting it in the ring. And that's why I got Tyson Fury at number 3.
That's definitely an interesting pick. I can respect that. Conspira G has David Benavidez at number 3. All right. So for me, at number 3, I have Naoya Inoue at number 3. And for me, what makes him entertaining is similar to Bud Crawford, but I feel like he's a little bit more power. And, he's more of a knockout guy. Like Bud's a boxer puncher. I'd say Inoue to me is a puncher boxer. But he did show that he's a good boxer against Stephen Fulton, who's a slick boxer. And Inoue was able to outbox him and get him out of there with the power. I think Inoue is in exciting fights. His first fight with Nonito Donaire was a classic. And, his second fight, he took Nonito Donaire out easy. And I feel like since then, he's been on another level. I think Inoue is exciting because he brings the type of power you don't normally see in those lower weight divisions. And turns it into knockouts. And I like that. I feel like when I was younger and I used to watch fights from 118 to 126, they used to just throw 1,000 punches and it would be like in the end, they both landed 500 punches and who won? It's like throw your score sheet in the air. I love the fact that the lower divisions now are focusing on knockouts because it makes their fights more entertaining. At number 3, I got Inoue as my most exciting fighter. Ned the TBE, who do you have at number 2?
Gervonta Tank Davis, baby. I think Tank is like, he has like his personality. When you see him in interviews, he's not afraid to answer anything. In the build up to fights, he's not afraid to, like, he talks his mind, he lets the fighters know what he's going to do to them, and he delivers. And then after fight, he's still going to make you laugh. You'll be like, you just love what Tank brings to the sport of boxing. And like, it's amazing. That's why I got him at number 2.
All right. At number 2, Conspira G has Gervonta Tank Davis. So you and G agree with Gervonta Davis at number 2. For me at number 2, I have Arthur Beterbiev at number 2. The man has won all his fights by knockout. From the moment the bell rings, with a guy like Arthur Beterbiev, you're focused on the fight because you know it could end at any minute, and you see him breaking down his opponents. And the Marcus Brown fight is one fight that I'll refer to because I remember watching Marcus Brown, and it was pretty much a standard Beterbiev fight. He's breaking Marcus Brown down, but then he had a cut on his face and the blood was rushing, and you could tell that the referee was, considering stopping the fight, and it was an extremely bad cut. And it's similar to Bud Crawford when they said to him, Sean Porter's up on the scorecards. Beterbiev came out and just took Brown out of there, and I thought that was very impressive. That showed like that he had the dog in him, that he's clutch, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get the dub in a moment. So I thought that was very impressive from Arthur Beterbiev. I got him at number 2. Ned the TBE, who do you think is the most exciting fighter in boxing today?
Payday. Hey, man, Canelo, ever since he became the face of boxing, he had a big target on his back. Everybody's coming after him. He's delivering. Yeah, he lost to Bivol. But like I said, if he ever run it back with the Bivol is going to be on Bivol is going to land on the mat. Canelo, he's grown. We seen him grow in his fight. He came in here. He started boxing very young. He's only 33 years old, and he's the face of boxing. He's improved his game. He's talented. He's his personality. He's funny. He is not afraid to say what's on his mind. Like when it came to Ryan Garcia, when it came to Andrade, when it came to Billy Joe Saunders, when it came to Caleb Plant, Canelo, everything you disrespect, and he's gonna check you. And that's why I got Canelo as number one. And he's the most paid fighter out here.
All right, so at number one for Conspiracy G. Oh, actually, let me get back to you, TBE. So you just for the record, you don't have AJ or Wilder as the top 5 most exciting fighters in boxing today.
AJ is an amazing fighter, but entertaining. He used to, when he had the dog in him, he would have been up there. When that Brazil moment, still was like when he was like, "You American fighters come up here and check." He was like showing him, and then when he told Charles Martin to shake my hand, was it Charles Martin? He told him who did he tell shake my hand? And there was
like Gillian, maybe.
Yeah, maybe one of them. He was told one of them to shake his hand, and he got shook. But that AJ was dope. This AJ is a little too humble, but I still like AJ. It's just I see him grow, and he's more professional now. And Wilder, who gets happy off of one trick pony? I had to throw a jab.
Hey man, it's your list, man. I was just checking with you. All right, so at number one on G's most exciting fighter list is Deontay Wilder. Surprise, surprise. That's G's number one most exciting fighter. So absent from G's list is Anthony Joshua and Canelo Alvarez. Those are some notable names. He also doesn't have Inoue on his list, and you didn't have Inoue on your list as well.
Yeah, it was a tough big pick between Inoue and Broder, but Inoue's right there knocking on the door. I had to go with like the guys that make me laugh and the guys I feel that are really skilled.
All right. Number one on my list is Gervonta Tank Davis. To me, he's the most exciting fighter in boxing. He doesn't fight the best competition, but he fights decent competition. He fights solid competition, and he wins in impressive fashion. And it's not just the way that he wins that's impressive. It's the event. It's the experience. Like, for me, what makes Gervonta Tank Davis exciting is when Gervonta is going to fight, the casuals are into the fight. And that makes it an event. That makes it everywhere I go, people are talking about Gervonta's fight. They're asking me who you think's going to win. They want to know. People are into it. It's those type of fights that remind me that the sport is alive, right? And so for me, when I go somewhere and people are talking about Gervonta Davis and they're normally debating, basketball, football, other sports, and Gervonta Davis is the topic. For me, that makes the fight big. Like what made Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis big was you knew that everyone's watching, like the world is stopping at this point in time, and I'm a part of it to witness this fight. And to me, that's what makes a fight exciting, because you know that everyone's watching it at the same time. And oh yeah, by the way, the guy who's in this ring is a small dude knocking out bigger people, taller people, and he's exciting. Almost like a mini Mike Tyson. So yeah, to me, Gervonta Tank Davis is the most exciting fighter in the game right now. Absent on my list is Canelo Alvarez. I just feel like Canelo is a solid fighter. He's a good fighter, and he's absolutely one of the most exciting fighters in boxing. If this was a top 5, I would put him in. But I feel like the other guys that I put above him, they get their KO ratio is higher. And I'm not saying they fight the level of competition, but again, when going into their fights, it's exciting because you're expecting a KO. Like he's about to fight Jamel, he could knock him out or he can beat him by decision. Canelo, you never know what you're going to get with Canelo. But he's an exciting fighter. He would have made the top 10 for sure. I don't have AJ on my list. I agree with you, TBE. If this was the AJ of old who was knocking people out, who had that confidence in that dog, he would be number one. But now it's almost like you don't know what you're going to get with AJ. It's like Forrest Gump when it comes to AJ. You never know where AJ you're going to get. So I couldn't put him on the list. And Tyson Fury's absent on my list because, quite frankly, he just started knocking people out. And his fights aren't always exciting. Sometimes he'll give you a stinker. So for me, I didn't put Tyson Fury on my list. All right. Let us know who you think are the top 5 most exciting fighters in boxing today in the comment section. Thank you for rocking with us. G is not with us. He started with us, but he had to go take care of some business. Trill Dollar Bill is not with us. He started with us, but he had to go because he's taking care of some business as well. I'm Caden. That's Ned the TBE.
Yes,
We are the Boxing Bros. And listen, you can check out Trill Dollar Bill's In My Soul video and on his page. And you can also check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.
I feel it in my soul. Can you feel me? My money right. Came so cold in my cell, all them lonely nights. Stay 10 toes.